When I saw her step out of the black Mercedes in that red dress, my heart stopped. Not because she looked beautiful, though she did, but because she wasn't supposed to be there. Not like that. Not with him. The man beside her was her boss, Derek Langford, the visionary CEO she'd talked about with too much admiration lately. He placed a hand on her lower back, guiding her toward the hotel ballroom entrance like she was his. And when the paparazzi flashbulbs went off, he didn't flinch. He smiled. He wanted the cameras. And my wife Melissa, my wife of 7 years, smiled back, letting his hand linger. That was the moment something in me cracked. 2 hours earlier I was at home, loosening my tie after another long day at the construction firm. Melissa had told me she was working late, helping Derek prepare for an important investor gala. "It's just paperwork, babe," she'd said that morning, kissing my cheek. "You'd be bored out of your mind." I believed her. Until I got a message from my buddy Ethan, who worked security at the Langford Group events. "Bro, why didn't you tell me you're coming tonight? Melissa looks incredible, she just arrived with Derek. Everyone's saying she's his date." I stared at my phone for a long time before replying. His date. She's his assistant. I don't know. That's not how it looks from here. I didn't even think. I just grabbed my jacket and keys and drove downtown. The hotel valet didn't question me when I walked in. I was still in my work clothes, and my face probably looked like I belonged somewhere important. The ballroom was glowing gold and white, filled with people laughing over champagne. I spotted Melissa near the stage, standing too close to Derek. He was tall, broad-shouldered, the kind of man who made everyone feel smaller just by standing near him. He was the kind of man who knew he could take what he wanted. And right now what he wanted was my wife. When he introduced her to a group of investors, his words made my stomach twist. "Gentlemen, this is Melissa, my date for the evening. I couldn't do half of what I do without her." My date. I watched as the men smiled and clinked glasses. Melissa laughed, that nervous, too bright laugh she used when she was uncomfortable. But she didn't correct him. She didn't say, "Actually, I'm married." She just stood there, smiling through it. That's when I realized something. This wasn't a misunderstanding. This was a choice. I stayed back, blending into the crowd, my chest tight. Every gesture between them, every touch, every shared glance, felt like another nail in the coffin of the life we'd built. When Derek leaned down to whisper something in her ear, her smile faltered for just a second. Then she nodded. Felt sick. The waiter passed by with a tray of champagne. I took one, my hand trembling. The bubbles fizzed against the rim as I fought the urge to walk over there, grab her wrist, and demand an explanation in front of everyone. But no, not yet. I was done reacting. It was time to act. I slipped out to the lobby and made a call. "Hey, Ethan," I said. My voice was steady, calm, too calm. "You still by the security booth?" "Yeah, what's up? Can you send me the live feed from Ballroom A? I want to see something." He hesitated. "Man, I don't know if I'm not asking you to break the law. Just help me see the truth." 10 minutes later, I had a live stream of the ballroom playing on my phone. I found an empty seat in the hotel lounge, ordered a drink and watched. For the next half hour, I watched Derek's hand move from her shoulder, to her waist, to her hand. I watched her drink, laugh, and pretend like she didn't notice how inappropriate it looked. At one point, a woman leaned over and whispered something to her. Melissa blushed, actually blushed, and looked away. Derek chuckled, his thumb brushing her knuckles. It wasn't an affair yet. Not physically. But it was close enough. The emotional line had been crossed. When I finally stood up, I already knew what I was going to do. I walked back into the ballroom like I belonged there, straight toward them. Melissa didn't see me until I was standing right behind her. "Melissa," I said quietly. She spun around, her eyes wide. "Daniel, what are you doing here?" Derek looked me over, a smirk playing at the edge of his lips. "Ah, so this is the husband I've heard so much about." I met his gaze. "Really? Because she told me I wasn't worth mentioning tonight. The air went still. People nearby turned to look. Melissa grabbed my arm. Daniel, please, not here. Why not? Asked. Seems like you've already made it public. Her eyes filled with tears. It's not what it looks like. Then tell me, I said, my voice low. Tell me why your boss just introduced you as his date. Derek took a slow sip of champagne. Because she is. The room buzzed with whispers. Melissa turned to him, horrified. Derek, stop. You know that's not. Come on, Melissa, he said smoothly, his tone dripping arrogance. You don't have to pretend for him anymore. That was it. I didn't hit him. I didn't yell. I just reached into my pocket, pulled out my phone and hit record. Say that again, I said. For HR. For your investors. For your wife. Assuming she exists. Derek's smile vanished. People were watching now. Phones out. Cameras flashing. Melissa's hand trembled as she whispered. Daniel, please stop. No, I said, turning the phone toward her. I believed in you. I defended you when people said he was too close. I told them you were loyal. I told them we were solid. Tears rolled down her cheeks. I didn't mean for it to. You never mean for it, I said. That's the thing about betrayal. It always starts with a harmless work dinner. Doesn't it? She looked at me like she wanted to speak, but no words came out. So I smiled, a sad, tired smile. Don't worry. I'm not going to embarrass you anymore. I turned to Derek. You can have your date. I'm done sharing. Then I walked out. The cold night air hit me like a slap. For the first time in 7 years, I didn't care where she was or who she was with. My heart still ached, yes, but it was a clean ache, one that came with clarity. By the time I got home, my phone was blowing up. Messages from Melissa, from her sister, even from Ethan. Apparently, the video had already made its way through the company. Derek's alpha CEO reputation was taking a hit. Serves him right. I poured myself a drink and sat on the porch, listening to the distant city hum. Around midnight, Melissa came home. Her makeup was ruined, her hair falling loose. She stood in the doorway like she didn't recognize me. Daniel, please, she said. It's not what you think. He said if I didn't go with him, he'd make things hard for me at work. I just wanted to keep my job. I stared at her. And that's why you smiled for the cameras. She shook her head, sobbing. I didn't know they'd be there. I didn't think. That's the problem, Melissa. You never think about what this does to me. To us. I love you, she said weakly. I almost laughed. You loved the version of me who didn't see through you. She reached out, but I stepped back. You'll get the divorce papers in the morning. Daniel. Good night, Melissa. And I closed the door. The weeks that followed were strange. Quiet, heavy, but liberating. Derek resigned 2 days after the video leaked. His wife filed for separation. His company stock plummeted, and Melissa's department was dissolved. She moved in with her sister, occasionally sending texts like I miss you or can we talk? I never replied. One evening, I went for a walk through the park where we'd once taken our wedding photos. The fountain lights shimmered across the pond, and I realized something. I wasn't angry anymore. Just done. I'd learned that betrayal doesn't just come from someone cheating on you. It comes from the small, silent choices that chip away at trust until there's nothing left to stand on. Melissa's betrayal didn't end our marriage. It just exposed that it had already been over. Months later, I saw her again at a cafe downtown. She looked older somehow, tired. She smiled weakly when she saw me. You look good, she said. So do you, I lied. She nodded. I'm sorry, Daniel. For everything. I know, I said. We stood there in silence for a moment. Two strangers who used to be everything to each other. Then she whispered. You really loved me, didn't you? I did, I said softly. Enough to let you go. And with that I walked away. Sometimes the most powerful move isn't confrontation. It's walking out of someone's story when they stop deserving a role in yours. That night at the gala, I thought I was losing everything. But in truth, I was reclaiming myself.